Hello everyone, welcome back to this YouTube channel. Today we are going to see Maharashtra State Board Class 8 Subject Science Chapter number 14 Measurements and Effects of Heat. So dear students, already we have studied in a lower standards that heat is nothing but the form of energy, and this form of energy what we have is always travels or get transferred from higher temperature object to the lower temperature object. We had already studied about that object which is cold is having a lower temperature as compared to the object which is hot. Not only this, we had already studied about the units to measure the heat energy. That heat's energy what we have studied was nothing but the joule in the SI system and calories in the CGS system. Not only that, we had already studied about the relation between the calorie and joule. That is, calorie is equivalent to the 4.18 joule. Means if we are having a 4.18 joule of the energy, that will be equal to the 1 calorie. After that, 1 calorie heat is the heat required to increase the temperature of a 1 gram of a water through 1 degree Celsius. Further, on the basis of this particular formula or the conversion, we have to study the salt examples, which we will have in a separate video. There we will discuss about the salt examples. Further, what we are going to study over here is the sources of heat. When we talk about the sources of heat, the one which is one of the most important source of heat we have, which is nothing but the ultimate source of the energy or the ultimate source of the heat. Why I am calling this word ultimate? Because sun is source of energy which will never extinguish. Never, it doesn't mean that it will remain always, because now we know the theory of a black hole, but never it is related with our life. When we talk about our life for the generations to come, then as compared to that, the sun is going to live a much longer life. And that's why we call it as the ultimate source of heat or energy. Sun is the biggest source. They are mentioned over here, source of heat received by the earth. Not only that, when we talk about this particular source of energy, and this is because of the due to the nuclear fusion taking place in its center. In this process, hydrogen nuclei fuse together to form helium, and in this process it loses energy, or it generates the heat amount, a very large amount of a heat, and that which we receive on the earth's surface in the form of light and heat. The next what we have to study is the earth, as the temperature at the center of the earth is high. The earth is also a source of heat. This heat is called as the geothermal energy. The next what we have to study is the chemical energy. When fuels like the wood, coal, petrol, all this, when we burn them, when the chemical reaction take place between the fuel and the oxygen, and heat is generated in these reactions. So there also heat is getting generated. The next one is electrical heat or the electrical energy. When we talk about this, then the several equipments are there in and around us, like the press or the iron, then the geysers, electric heaters. All these are nothing but what which works on the electricity. This particular equipments, they are producing heat. And the next what we have to study over here is atomic energy. Atomic energy is also a source of heat or the energy. The huge amount of heat is produced in a very short time when the nuclei of some elements like uranium, thorium, etc. undergo fission. This is used in atomic energy projects. The next one is the air. A large amount of heat is produced or present in the air which is surround to us. And when the next concept we have to study, that is the temperature. We can find out how cold or the how hot is a particular object by touching the object. However, our sense of a hot or a cold is relative. When we talk about this particular word, our sense for the hot or cold is relative. What does it mean then? For that, they have taken one experiment over here. Let's discuss about the this particular experiment. What we have to do, we have to take a water in a three different containers. If you choose, you want to choose it as the same or different, doesn't matter. But the water what we will fill in that, we will have three different kind of a water. Kind means it's only the difference between the temperature. The one which is at the center, we will keep it at a room temperature, and the one water we will take as a cold and one we will take as a hot. It requires, or it up to you, whichever you want to take as a hot, whichever you want to take as a cold, you can keep that way. What you have to do, you have to take your both the hands, you have to insert in the container which is containing, or which one is containing the cold and the hot water, not the room temperature. Okay, you have to keep it your hands in both the water, the lukewarm water. Hot means lukewarm, don't take it too hot. So lukewarm water, as much you can bear in your hand, only that much hot water you have to choose or you have to take. Then insert your hand, your palm in both the water which is hot and cold, and keep it for a 1 minute. You have to wait for 1 minute, and then take out your hand from this and insert in this one, the water which is at a room temperature. Put your both the hands in that and feel the difference. The hand which was in the cold water, you will feel that this water is a little hot. But when you take your hand from hot water to this room temperature water, you will feel that the water is very cold. It's really happening. You can try and share your comment in this particular video. First, you try this thing, then after that, comment your observations in the comment section of this particular video, and even in the Google Classroom, you can share with me. So it's really happening. If when you will insert your hand in the center container or the container in which you have the room temperature water, you will feel that difference in the temperature what you are sensing by your hand. It will be totally different experience, and because of this we call it as a the sense of the temperature or the hot or a cold is relative. Next, what we have to discuss is the heat and temperature. You can see over here the hot gas and the cooler gas. You can see the arrows what they have drawn over here is a little longer because the hot gases, they have the extra amount of the energy, and that's why the particles are moving here and there. Now let's discuss about in a theory part what they have given between the heat and temperature. When we talk about the heat, that is a form of energy. But when we talk about the temperature, that is the quantity of the heat present or stored in a particular object. The heat, when we talk about, is nothing but the energy. Heat is the amount of energy, and the temperature is nothing but the indication of that particular energy. So here they have given the atoms in a substance are always in motion. The total kinetic energy of the atoms in a substance is a measure of the heat contained in that subject, while the temperature of a substance is related to the average kinetic energy of the atoms. If the average kinetic energy of the atom in two objects is equal to their temperatures, will also be equal. So what they have given, the total energy, the heat is the total energy produced or stored in a particular object, and on the other side, the average of all the energy is nothing but the temperature. So if average of energy is same for the two objects, then their temperature will be also equal. The further part what we have to discuss in this particular chapter is the velocities of the atom in the solid objects are shown by the arrow that already we have discussed. Now the further is the next part what we have to discuss is the formula over here. See, the temperature is measured in the units Celsius and Fahrenheit and Kelvin. Kelvin is used in scientific experiments while the other two are used in daily life. The relation between the three units is shown by the following formula. Relation between the Kelvin and the degree Celsius is simple. You just add 273.15 in the temperature in a degree Celsius, and then you will find the temperature in the Kelvin. And the relation between the degree Celsius and the Fahrenheit is this, that is F minus 32 upon 9 is equal to C upon 5. This is the relation between the degree Celsius and Fahrenheit, the two units of the temperature. Now they have given a one short table over here to get the relation between the degree Fahrenheit, degree Celsius and the Kelvin. You can see the boiling water which is at 100 degrees Celsius. The temperature in the Fahrenheit is a 212 and 373.15 in the Kelvin. Same way about the freezing point they have given, room temperature they have given, boiling point of a mercury and the freezing point of mercury. So you have a one of the activity that you have to write this complete table and you have to post back me into the Google Classroom. Along with that, this also you have to complete as one of the activity. You can share that with me in the comment section of this video and even in the Google Classroom. So this is the first activity, the activity 1 of this particular chapter, which you have to write in your science notebook, this table. Now let's go ahead, and again we have some solved examples in this, which we will see in a coming video, where we will discuss the all solved examples and the unsolved examples from the chapter. So this particular chapter, this first video, the activity is given to you. This activity you have to write and send to me. Along with that, the one more activity which I had given earlier in the video. So for this video, only this much.